The struggle towards the implementation of the new national minimum wage is still on, and that will be our focus on Labour Lens this week. Hello and welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. The news is first before we move on.
Opening proceeding, the national president of the National Union of Chemical and Non-Metallic Product Employees took a critical look at the manufacturing sector of the Nigerian economy and identify roles of government, employers and employees in order to grow the economy optimally.
Most of our companies are being moved from Nigeria to the neighbor countries. Like Dunlop, they belong to our sector, Michelin Tire, they belong to our sectors. These are the problems that confronted and faced them that allowed them to move from Nigeria to the other countries.
Other labor leaders and guests also addressed the opening ceremony, including Ekiti State Chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress, who expressed their belief that the relatively peaceful and secure Ekiti environment brought the 28th National Industrial Seminar of the Union of Chemical and Non-Metallic Product Employees to the state.
We are not patriotic enough to use what we produce. The argument may be about quality, but with time, we can improve on them. So I call today that there should be a policy that will encourage the patronage of what we produce.
Labour and management should be committed to improve productivity, innovation through teamwork and achieving organizational objectives. And our members of the union and employees, we must collaborate, give initiative, give suggestions, give advice to management. Management would like to listen.
I would like you to agree with me is because of the atmosphere that is security friendly that made people to come to Ekiti State. Ekiti, is known for fountains of knowledge, and if you want to tap into that, you have to come to Ekiti State.
Some participants who spoke to TVC News expressed their expectation from this seminar.
My take home is that we have a very peaceful state and people friendly, and at the same time it's much more like being at home.
They are friendly people, understand, and they are well knowledgeable people. So automatically I think we are getting the result. The main reason why we are in Ekiti, we are getting it.
The communique is expected at the close of the seminar on Thursday.
The Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council and representatives of the federal government will reconvene on September 4 to continue negotiations of the new national minimum wage. TVC News reports that the negotiators adjourned to the new date to allow President Muhammadu Buhari to wade into disagreement of relativity and consequential adjustment on the new national minimum wage. The Secretary General of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria said it's expedient for the federal government to implement the new national minimum wage to avoid arrears which could create another round of agitations by workers.
A lot of things have happened in the country, particularly the most painful aspect of it is this increase in the fuel price, the pump price of petrol to 145. A lot of promises were made. A lot of promises. They even told us there is 60 or 600 billion naira on ground for us to appropriate to various needs that to ameliorate the challenges posed by this increase. But when you go to the negotiation table, some of us were frightened, very frightened. They denied it, that they didn't say anything like that. And even at that, the little things that were even able to narrow down at the negotiation as agreement, none was implemented up to today. None, not a single one. So when you look at that kind of a scenario, and this one throws itself up, it's an opportunity for government to look at how they can do something meaningful to reduce this level of poverty. Because this poverty level now, it's creating a lot of crisis here and there. And the moment you are able to arrest it through this kind of intervention, which is to me is very positive, you will see it's going to be like magic. It's going to work like magic. Let them try it and see what we are talking about. When workers get their money, they will go and spend it in the market. They will spend it in the system. It is different from those who get this thing without working for it, without putting any sweat into it, without putting any energy into it. So then they get this kind of a thing. The next thing is to travel outside and keep the money somewhere.
In November 2017, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari set up a tripartite committee to come up with a new national minimum wage for the country. After several deliberations and a warning strike in September 2018, organized labor, government and the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association (NECA) agreed on 30,000 naira as the new national minimum wage for workers.
The issue is ability or resources to take care of the minimum wage agreed. That's the something in question.
Few days after, the Nigeria Governors Forum, made up of the governors of the Nigerian 36 states, announced that they can only afford 22,500 naira, which is about $62. After several threats of strike and negotiation, the tripartite committee agreed on 30,000 naira, which was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari on 18th of April 2019.
The signing of the act would pave way for the constitution of another committee to negotiate the issue of relativity, stroke consequential adjustment arising from the new national minimum wage of 30,000 naira only with the relevant labor unions.
About 4 months after the president's approval, workers are yet to start enjoying the minimum wage. This is because a consequential adjustment committee is yet to make headways. In my quest to get the pulse of Nigerians on the implementation of the new national minimum wage, I met with Deremi Adebowale, a street sweeper in Lagos State who earns 18,500 naira with no other benefits attached. The mother of 3 children tells me she can't wait to start earning the 30,000 naira minimum wage signed into law by President Buhari.
We want to plead government to increase our salary because that 18,500 cannot do anything. They should please help us to increase in time. We need minimum wage because without that, with 18,500, we cannot do a lot of things we want to do.
She explained that though the 30,000 naira will not be sufficient, it will still assist her in meeting some of her daily needs.
We can't cope because the money is too small. Even if they pay us 30,000, it even reach anything for us to. We cannot do anything with 30,000, but we are just pleading to please give us 30,000 in time because that 85 is too small.
Can you share with me how many children do you have? Do they attend school? How much do you spend on electricity? How much do you spend on transport on a daily basis?
Every day I enter transport 500 naira. And my children's school, I have 3 children. I pay 30,000. I don't even go to school that I like. They don't go to school that I like. But because I don't have money to put them in the school that I like, I just manage one that I can manage. So please, that money is too small for us.
A graphical representation of what workers in other countries earn as minimum wage will throw more light on agitation of workers in the country. Ironically, Nigerian politicians earn the highest salary in the world.
When they are campaigning for the election, they want us to do everything to put them in power. When they are there, they're just enriching their pocket now. If not, security vote is there, the issue contract, many things we know that is happening there. So they don't even care about the masses.
To my own surprise, I saw many states are still owing himself, not even the new minimum wage. The last 18,000, they are still owing the workers. So it's very, very painful. I would just say maybe Mr. President is just deceiving we, the workers.
I don't think we should be talking of 30,000 naira minimum wage in the first place. We should not be talking of that kind of amount. In this God-blessed country, where oil and gas, we have raw materials, we have so many things, we are enriched as a nation. So the point is, why are we suffering?
Deremi Adebowale tells me she would like to earn more as she is currently squatting with a family member because she can't afford accommodation of her own. Even when you receive 30,000 naira, do you think it can make much difference?
It can make small difference. That 30,000 is not, it's not reasonable for anything, but we manage it.
With some states currently paying less than 18,000 naira as minimum wage, it's hoped that labor leaders will rise to the challenge and stand for decent pay in the country. Recently, the Nigerian Labour Congress announced the appointment of a new General Secretary, Comrade Emmanuel Ugboja. It tells me his plans towards the implementation of the new national minimum wage and other labour-related issues. Take a listen. Congratulations on your appointment as the General Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress.
Thank you very much.
If I may ask, what should Nigerian workers be expecting from you?
Renewed zeal of life. We come prepared. We come understanding what the expectations are. Very huge. And we hope to fulfill those expectations.
Lots of issues in the workspace, but top of it, and which is of most concern to the average Nigerian worker, is the issue of the new national minimum wage implementation. We have so many states that are not even paying up to 18,000 naira, which is the current which was the previous national minimum wage. Can you tell us, is the Secretariat open to engage states that are not even paying the previous minimum wage?
Yeah, no, clearly what can be said is they were in arrears, but the last minimum wage act was fully in operation. The new one we expect to come on stream pretty soon. The challenge is that of what is called consequential adjustment, because if you have to move a level 1 officer from 18 to 30, then there should be some consequential movement for the rest of the grades.
What I was trying to ask you is, I know of some states in Nigeria that when we were supposed to be paid 18,000 naira, we're receiving as poor as 7,000, 8,000, 10,000. And now we're talking of 30,000 naira as a new national minimum wage, which is yet to be implemented. I'm asking you, is there anything in sight to address this issue of state governments not actually complying with the directive?
No state government paid that. No state government paid that. There is no way every worker on level 1, step 1 in Nigeria in the past 4 years was on 18,000. What you might get will be those employed in the informal sector, those employed by strange companies that were adamant to respecting our laws, but with the government is clearly not possible for any government worker to be below 18,000 now.
So are you saying that it is actually unacceptable?
It's breaking the law. It's breaking the law. It's not a question, it's not morals. It's breaking the law. And no government will break the law.
And if the government breaks the law, what happens? Where does labor step in?
There are consequences. There are consequences. Of course, where we have that, we'll shut down production in such a place. We'll call out the workers, we'll try to negotiate, we'll try to draw their attention, and where they are recalcitrant, there will be a showdown.
Okay, moving forward, going back to the issue of the implementation of 30,000 naira minimum wage, we are aware that the Public Service Workers Union have been meeting with the government, and right now they are hoping that the president will intervene on the actual figure that should be implemented. What's your take on this? What do you think have been done in ensuring that Nigerian workers earn decent work? Or decent wage?
Yeah, moving forward is to appreciate that wages don't get fixed by executive fiat anymore. Normally, across the globe, those that are members of the ILO family, the workplace has been democratized. So it's a function of negotiation. It's a function of dialogue. The implementation is being delayed because people still had the archaic idea that they could sit down and fix wages. You need to sit with the workers' representative to get an understanding on what the wage should be. But government executive people went ahead to put monies in the budget and wanted to insist that what they have budgeted should then stand. That is not how wages are arrived at. Wages are arrived at on the table, and you give and take, you explain, and then you get an understanding. But when people went ahead on their own, so motto to fix wage, that is what has stalled the implementation. So now they have agreed to go back to their principal, the president, to get a legitimate mandate to have meaningful discussion with the workers' representatives so we can have a lasting consequential adjustment to reflect the implementation.
During the last International Labour Organization conference, it was proposed by the president of France that there should be an European Union minimum wage. And so also Africa is also looking at the possibility of having a universal minimum wage. How visible do you think is?
The world is becoming a global village, and clearly that is the way to go. And if people keep talking about how to develop Africa, how to bring Africa to join the rest of the world, then African leaders, African governments should be in the forefront of going for an international minimum wage, trying to get a global minimum wage, because it's about citizens, it's about humanity. The earlier we realize that you can only have purchasing power when you are properly paid, and then you can only sell your products when people have powers to buy those products. If your products are not going to be bought by fishes, your products are not going to be dumped in the ocean, your products are going to be consumed by humans, and those humans must have capacity to acquire those products. Once we begin to reason in that direction, then we won't see wage as a burden. We'll see wage as a responsibility. And Macron is right, that is the way to go.
Okay, looking at the fact that Nigeria is one of the African countries with the least minimum wage, even though we have a new one pegged at 30,000 naira. What do you think can be done to encourage state governments to take the lead in ensuring the implementation of the new national minimum wage? Do you think we have the wherewithal to finance the 30,000 naira minimum wage?
Yeah, we have the wherewithal. What we don't have is the mindset. The governors have the mindset of having slaves. We've moved away from master-servant relationship. We've moved away from slave labor. We are in employee-employer relationship. We are in a humanized workplace environment. And once you change that mindset of how can I give them my money, how can I give 1/3 of the population all my money, then you will know that we can implement the minimum wage. It's a function of mindset. It's the challenge of refocusing the mindset. Once they get the mindset right, there is the capacity to implement a decent living wage, not even the minimum wage we have now.
Okay, moving forward, looking at the issue of casualization of staff, outsourcing of staff, insourcing of staff, it seems to be the order of the day in the country, and probably many people have the view that it's the issue of unemployment in the country that is the cause of this. What are your expectations from the Ministry of Labour, especially with the reappointment of the Minister of Labour, Dr. Chris Ngige, into office?
We expect them to stand up and be counted. The Ministry of Labour is out there to protect humanity, to protect the citizens of the country, and that's the priority, to make sure that labor standards are respected. And if labor standards are going to be respected, the takeoff points are basically the legislation currently guiding the workplace in Nigeria. And it's up to them through their inspectorate division, it's up to them through their labor officers that engage in mediation and arbitration to make sure that the right thing is done. No worker goes to work hoping not to work. It's a function of management to provide work, and once you've employed a worker, he is committed to work. You have the issues of strikes, you have the issues of slowdowns because of the challenge of management, and it's up to the ministry not to see themselves as political people, but to see themselves as like the lawyers will call them officers in the temple of justice. This time they are officers in the temple of the place of work. They must do whatever is necessary to keep the workplace going. The workers produce the wealth, and they don't produce the wealth for spirits. They produce the wealth for humanity. And clearly, everybody that produces should be able to partake from what he has produced. Our commitment is to guide Nigerian workers to higher productivity, because the bigger the cake we bake, the more chances of the decent income we'll have. So we are not inclined to struggling for tiny bits of and crumbs of cake. We are interested in baking the bigger cake, and our challenge to the political leadership is to see the big picture.
Talking about inspection, many labor leaders in recent time have actually accused the Ministry of Labor of not going out there to inspect companies, especially international organizations or multinational companies. What's Labor doing, or NLC, what should we be expecting from NLC in ensuring that multinational companies and also local companies do the needful to improve decent work in the country?
Our attitude is to call on the government to constitute and institutionalize the National Labour Advisory Council. That is the tripartite social dialogue platform that can let us interact. Increasingly, we don't have invisible inspections anymore. Inspections of workplaces are a joint venture because it's for the health of everybody. So it's not now a function of just one labor inspector moving from Ministry of Labor to go walk around the factories. It has to be joint. It's a collaboration between the Inspectorate Division, the organization of the employers, and the organization of the workers. So we are calling for the institutionalizing of the National Labour Advisory Council, so that we can genuinely get to the Employers Federation is committed to having a safe work environment. We, the workers' organization, we are committed to having a safe work environment. We expect the government to be committed to the same. And once we have that understanding, once we are all on the same page, there is nothing wrong in having a joint inspection team, so that you can then see from the same prism. You will see from the same lens, and you have the same conclusions. And those that then need to be corrected will be corrected. And where there are shortfalls, we will know the shortfalls we are looking to have fixed. That's the direction we want to move.
At the just concluded NEC meeting in Kano State, Nigeria, the Nigerian Labour Congress actually informed the public that there will be nationwide rallies. Can you tell us why do you have to take this step at this particular time?
It's our desire to draw the attention that all hands must be on deck to take this issue and tackle it and bring our country back to normalcy. So we intend to hold rallies across the nation to draw attention to this, and then go further to hold a summit that will include both serving and past security chiefs and international experts that will help dissect the situation and provide solutions that we then hope to bring to the attention of the government in power. Because workers are suffering untold hardship, the poor working families are suffering, people are unable to travel when they should, people are unable to link when they should, products are difficult to get across to consumers, and everybody is in a panic, and we need to make this clearly seen as a national, genuine national issue, and not to be politicized. So that's the direction we are headed.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijaston. Thanks for watching, and remember, labor creates wealth.